A quasar does not flicker. It does not flare like a star. It does not burn like a sun. It devours, and in devouring it shines, brighter than entire galaxies. The question sounds like science fiction. What if a quasar beam hits Earth? The answer is not simple, but it is not comforting. A quasar is not a star, is not even a single object, is the blazing core of a distant galaxy powered by a supermassive black hole. When matter spirals into that black hole, it forms an accretion disk, gas heated to extreme temperatures as it accelerates inward. Friction and gravity convert motion into radiation. The result is staggering luminosity. Some quasars outshine the combined light of hundreds of billions of stars. At the center of most galaxies lies a supermassive black hole. Even our own Sagittarius A** is one, quiet, relatively inactive. But when a black hole actively feeds, when gas and dust pour inward in vast quantities, it becomes something else. It becomes a quasar. The energy does not radiate evenly in all directions. In many cases, powerful jets of charged particles erupt from the poles of the black hole at nearly the speed of light. These jets can extend for thousands or even millions of light years into intergalactic space. They are narrow, focused, relativistic. If one of those jets were pointed directly at Earth, it would not look like a beam of visible light. It would arrive as a torrent of high-energy radiation. Gamma rays, X-rays, cosmic rays. The first question is distance. Quasars are not nearby objects. They are typically billions of light years away. The nearest known quasars are still far outside the Milky Way. There is no quasar close enough to pose any immediate threat, but the hypothetical remains. Imagine a quasar in a distant galaxy. Imagine its jet aligned precisely with our solar system. Imagine that jet crossing intergalactic space for millions of years and arriving here. What would happen? The Earth's atmosphere protects us from a great deal of cosmic radiation. High-energy particles collide with molecules in the upper atmosphere, creating cascades of secondary particles that dissipate energy before reaching the surface. But a sustained, intense gamma-ray beam would be different. Gamma radiation at sufficient intensity can strip electrons from atoms. It can ionize atmospheric molecules. It can break apart nitrogen and oxygen. One of the greatest dangers would be ozone depletion. Gamma rays interacting with nitrogen in the atmosphere can produce nitrogen oxides. These compounds catalytically destroy ozone. The ozone layer shields Earth from harmful ultraviolet radiation. If it were severely depleted, ultraviolet light from the sun would flood the surface. Skin damage, crop failure, marine ecosystem collapse. Phytoplankton, the base of the ocean food chain, are highly sensitive to UV radiation. A severe ozone loss event could ripple through global ecosystems. The intensity of the effect would depend on distance and duration. A brief pulse might damage the atmosphere temporarily. A sustained exposure could cause mass extinction-level consequences. The radiation would not ignite the planet. It would not shatter continents, but it would alter chemistry, and chemistry shapes life. There is precedent for cosmic radiation events affecting Earth. Gamma-ray bursts, short, intense bursts of gamma radiation from collapsing massive stars or merging neutron stars, are considered potential extinction-level threats if close enough and aimed directly at Earth. A quasar jet is not identical to a gamma-ray burst, but in terms of high-energy particle flux, the mechanisms share similarities. The difference is scale and duration. Quasar jets can remain active for millions of years. If Earth were within the direct path of such a jet from a relatively nearby galaxy, the exposure could be prolonged. Atmospheric ionization would increase. Electrical systems might suffer from enhanced radiation. Satellites would be vulnerable. Astronauts in orbit would face severe risk. Even the magnetosphere, Earth's magnetic shield would be tested by an increased flux of charged particles. Yet distance remains our shield. The nearest active quasars are so far away that even their immense power spreads thinly by the time it reaches us. Radiation intensity diminishes with the square of the distance. Across billions of light years, even galaxy-scale luminosity becomes faint. When we observe quasars through telescopes, we detect their brilliance because we focus instruments for long exposures. To the naked eye, they are invisible. To Earth's atmosphere, they are negligible. There is another possibility. What if our own galaxy's central black hole became active? Sagittarius A* is currently quiet. It accretes matter slowly. It does not emit powerful jets like an active quasar. But if a large molecular cloud or star wandered too close and fed it substantially, it could brighten. It could enter a more active phase. Would that endanger Earth? The Milky Way's center is about 26,000 light-years away. Even if Sagittarius A* became moderately active, Earth would still be distant. The galaxy's disk and interstellar medium would absorb much of the radiation. We are not aligned with any hypothetical jet axis. The geometry matters as much as the energy. A quasar beam is dangerous only if it is precisely aligned. Space is vast. Alignment is rare. The terrifying aspect is not likelihood, is scale. Quasars demonstrate how much energy gravity can unleash. A black hole millions or billions of times the mass of the Sun can convert infalling matter into radiation with extraordinary efficiency, far greater than nuclear fusion in stars. Entire galaxies glow because of a single feeding black hole. That energy concentrated into a narrow jet can pierce intergalactic space. It can shape galaxy evolution. It can heat surrounding gas. It can suppress star formation. Quasars are not merely bright. They are transformative. If Earth were close enough and aligned precisely with a powerful quasar jet, the atmosphere could be chemically altered. Ozone could be stripped. Surface radiation levels could rise dramatically. Life might retreat underground or underwater. Mass extinctions could unfold over years or decades rather than minutes. But continents would remain. The oceans would not boil. The planet would survive. Life is resilient. It has endured asteroid impacts, volcanic winters, and solar variability. The biosphere might collapse partially, but microbes deep in rock and ocean trenches would persist. The greater terror lies in realization. A quasar beam is not aimed, is not intentional, is the byproduct of gravity and angular momentum. If Earth were struck, it would not be targeted. It would be incidental, caught in alignment across cosmic distances. The universe does not design threats. It produces consequences. Quasars existed billions of years before Earth formed. Their light traveled across expanding space long before the solar system condensed from dust. We observe them as ancient phenomena, beacons from early cosmic epochs. They remind us that galaxies were once more violent, more active, more luminous. The modern universe is quieter. Most quasars have faded. Supermassive black holes, including our own, have largely settled into dormancy. The era of peak quasar activity occurred billions of years ago. In that sense, the greatest danger is behind us, but the possibility remains in theory. If a sufficiently nearby active galactic nucleus aligned perfectly with Earth, atmospheric damage could follow. Civilization could struggle. Technology could fail under radiation stress. But total planetary annihilation would remain unlikely. The Earth is small. The cosmos is vast. Alignment across such scales is extraordinarily rare. So what if a quasar beam hits Earth? If distant, nothing happens. If moderately close and aligned, the atmosphere suffers. If extremely close, within our own galaxy and precisely aimed, life could face severe stress. But the probability is vanishingly small. The true lesson of quasars is not fear. It is magnitude. Gravity, given enough mass and motion, can outshine galaxies. Black holes, often imagined as silent destroyers, can become the brightest objects in the universe. And Earth, fragile, complex, alive, orbits quietly in the outskirts of a galaxy whose central black hole sleeps. We are not in a quasar's path. We are not in a jet's crosshairs. We exist in a relatively calm epoch of cosmic history. Quasars blaze across the distant universe, their beams carve through intergalactic darkness. But here, beneath our atmosphere and magnetic shield, the sky remains steady. The question is terrifying in concept. The answer is reassuring in reality. A quasar beam could alter a world, but the odds that it will ever touch ours are astronomically small.